You've prayed, long, often, and sincerely. You've whispered into your hands at dawn, sat in silence on your prayer mat at midnight, and cried in solitude while asking Allah for clarity, for love, for companionship that is not just lawful, purposeful. You're not just waiting for anyone. You're waiting for the one, the person destined to walk beside you toward Allah. And yet, here you are, still searching, still waiting, still wondering, where is the answer? But what if the answer has already come? Not all divine gifts arrive with trumpets. Sometimes they come dressed in simplicity, cloaked in quiet, offered in forms so subtle that we overlook them while waiting for something louder, shinier, more dramatic. Sometimes the delay is not from Allah. Sometimes the delay is us. Chapter 1. You're comparing love to pain. You think you're being cautious, but really you're still comparing everyone to your past. That's not discernment. That's trauma speaking. You're not guarding your heart. You're protecting your wounds. Every time someone good enters your life, you hold them up to the standard of the one who hurt you, hoping to prevent heartbreak. But all you're doing is rejecting what's real out of fear of repeating what's already over. God isn't trying to send someone to break you again. He's trying to send someone who will build you, someone who will redeem your view of love and restore what you thought was lost. But if you're stuck rereading an old chapter, you'll never recognize the new one he's writing. Chapter 2. You're chasing fireworks, not fruit. The world taught you to look for sparks. Chemistry, the wow factor. So when peace shows up instead of passion, you assume it's wrong. But Allah blessings rarely come with drama. They come with depth. You want fireworks. He's offering fruit, patience, kindness, faithfulness, peace. And because it feels unfamiliar, you call it boring. But peace isn't boring, it's a divine. Yes, wrapped in calm. That stillness you feel, that's not lack. That's confirmation. You've built walls and called them boundaries. You say you're protecting your heart, but really, you've built a fortress so high that even the one Allah sent can't get in. And Allah isn't asking you to tear your defenses down for just anyone. He's asking you to let in the one He sent, not the one you imagined, not the fantasy, but the fulfillment. Chapter 3. The filters we didn't choose. You keep brushing it off. They're not my type. I'm not ready. What if I get hurt again? Life teaches us to protect ourselves. A broken promise, a betrayal, an abandonment. And before we know it, we start filtering people, not through the lens of faith, but through the lens of fear. We no longer look for connection. We look for signs of danger. We analyze too quickly, doubt too often. We push people away not because we don't want love, but because we don't want to relive heartbreak. The mind says, be cautious. But the heart, locked behind invisible walls, starts to wither. And so, when someone good comes along, someone who might truly be a blessing, they seem suspicious, too simple, too stable. And instead of welcoming them, we close the door, thinking we're protecting ourselves, when really we're imprisoning our hearts. The very filter that was meant to guard you from harm may now be preventing you from receiving mercy. Chapter 4. The silent ones. He prayed for her, not obsessively, but with sincerity. Ya Allah, if she's meant for me, place love in her heart. If not, then let me move on without pain. That kind of man exists. The kind who respects your space, who waits in prayer rather than in pursuit. But if your heart is looking for intensity instead of sincerity, for charisma instead of character, you may never notice him or her. Sometimes the most powerful people in your life are the quietest. If you want divine love, you need divine vision. Stop asking God for clarity while secretly holding on to control. Heal what's still bleeding. Don't project your fears onto people sent to love you. Be open not just to being loved, but to being loved in Allah way, not the world's way. Worldly love wants performance. Allah love offers presence. Worldly love excites your ego. Allah love nourishes your soul. You say you're ready for marriage, but you've been rejecting healthy love because it doesn't come with the high you're used. T.O. You're praying for a godly relationship, but turning away the very kind of love that comes with Allah fingerprints. Chapter 5. A heart being stirred. There's someone from your past whose heart is being softened by the hand of Allah. Right now, they've felt the void. They've sensed your absence. They've wrestled in silence. Allah is moving in their spirit. A shift is happening, and you may not see it yet, but it's coming. Expect a message, a call, an open door that was once shut. Not as a repetition of the past, but as a realignment to the future Allah always intended. This is not just reconciliation. This is restoration. You were never forgotten. You were being refined. That delay? It wasn't denial, it was divine preparation. Chapter 6. Allah timing is never late, for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. The enemy tried to convince you it was over, that love had died, that you were too broken, too late, too unworthy. But Allah has the final word. What He joins, no force in hell can tear apart. What He ordains, no disappointment can cancel. The seeds you planted in tears are about to bloom into a harvest of joy. This is not fiction. This is faith in motion. You are not just about to rekindle a romance. You are stepping into divine alignment, a bond forged through fire and preserved. By grace. Chapter 7. This time, it's different. You are no longer who you were when they left, and neither are they. Allah has worked in both of your hearts separately, so that when the time came, you'd be ready together. This time, it won't be built on fantasy, but on faith. Not on emotion, but on eternal purpose. This love will glorify Allah. It will be rooted in truth, guided by wisdom, and sealed in prayer. Don't expect perfection. Expect intention. Expect a love that sees your brokenness and chooses you anyway. Expect someone who will speak life into your dreams and stay even when things get hard. Not because they're strong, but because the Spirit binds them to the promise. They've prayed too. They've waited too. They've been asking Allah for a soul who sees them not just with eyes, but with understanding. And when Allah whispered your name into their spirit, something shifted. They knew. And now, maybe, so do you. Chapter 8. Don't wait for fireworks, notice the flame. Right person might not impress you, but they'll bless you. They may not look like your fantasy, but they'll feel like home. You keep waiting for a wow, but Allah may have sent a peace. You expect a burst of emotion, but He offers clarity instead. You wanted to be swept off your feet. He wants you to stand firm beside someone. Allah doesn't send based on what trends. He sends based on what MENDs. So ask yourself, are you waiting for a partner in passion? Or are you open to a companion in faith? You may have already met them. In a hallway, at a gathering, online, in a conversation you didn't take seriously, in someone you thought was just nice. Maybe you didn't miss your chance. Maybe you just need to open your eyes again, but this time, through your heart. Final chapter. Return to readiness. So now, take a breath. Are you really open to receiving the person you asked for? Not just in fantasy, but in reality? Because to love someone for the sake of Allah means accepting them in their human form. It means recognizing the divine in the simple, the sacred in the silent, the guidance in the gentle. It means becoming the kind of soul that can carry a blessing without breaking it. And when your heart is ready, truly ready, you'll no longer ask, when will they come? You'll whisper, Help me recognize them when they do. Because guidance has always been there. It's not about waiting for a louder answer. It's about becoming quiet enough to hear the one that has already been given.